It hasn't been replaced yet. It's still there, but it's clean. It will be missed terribly. How's it going, Austin? Not too bad myself, a little tired. Me too. Ew, work. That's unfortunate. Unless you're one of the extremely rare people who enjoy it or whatever they do. True, but very, very few people have that opportunity. So you shouldn't take it for granted if you have it. Heck yeah, that's awesome. It's possible for some things, but not every hobby can be turned into a financial stream. Not everything. It also depends on who you are. I don't. I have no qualms about being childish or whatever. I don't. I've never cared. I believe for me, I can only speak for myself, but I don't think there's anything that I can think of that I could do where I wouldn't get to the point where I think no matter what you do, it gets monotonous over time, regardless. It doesn't matter. So you do it for like a year or something. Me personally, I'm gonna dislike it no matter what it is. I don't care. So in some ways, I don't want to do. I don't want to get paid for what I love because I won't love it anymore. Hello, Odyssey. We have any biters on my amateur economy stuff from earlier? Yeah, exactly. That's what would happen to me if I stream video games. I would it would become a job to me and I'd be like, yeah, this sucks. Then it would be like I'm only doing it to make money And then in my off time, I wouldn't play the games anymore. That's just me. Pretty simply, that whenever they constantly talk about inflation, it's just about all bullshit. It's not about inflation. They're misleading people. It's about corporate greed and price gouging. You can see it in pretty much every industry. It's like very obvious. Uh Depends on what it is, but I think it's about work just in general. Like I don't get anything from work. You've got some like southern types, not always, but like it's known for a southern type that they're like, I work. I'm a man. I don't have that. I think it's stupid. Or like the it's almost like you're proud that you're being taken advantage of. And in most cases that's what's happening anyway. And the biggest thing is that I value time over money. I think time is the most valuable resource on the planet. So you can't really give me, even if it's a lot, if I have to spend like 60 hours for it, it's not worth it. Not for money. My free time is worth far more than that money. That's how I view the world anyway. Yeah, in some ways you could look at it like that. Like boring type jobs, they're boring, maybe, depending on what you do and your personality. But at the very least, you're not going to ruin something. Well, they're kinda in some ways they prop themselves up about being workers and hard workers, but they're the cause of their predicament. They don't get paid crap because they're getting taken advantage of, but instead of seeing it like that, they see it like, but I work. So you work and you don't get paid anywhere near what you should. Like, yes, the company that you work for is to blame, but so are you. You're doing it, you're allowing it. Well, I believe that we need more antitrust laws. Biden's trying to break up Google at the moment. I don't know if he'll succeed, but that's what we need. And also, well, there's the Google monopoly deal on advertisement specifically. There's also Kroger, and I can't think of the other one. Hello, Gadwin.
Howdy, howdy.
The other chain, but Kroger and whatever the other one is like huge. Kroger is trying to take over the other Albertsons, I think, and they're Biden's trying to fight it. That's what we need because this accumulation and like the wealth all going into like a short group is what's causing price gouging. There's no competition. Like
Well,
that's the go ahead.
it's your price fixing too. So, like, I was watching about like rent prices are going through the roof in a lot of places.
Mhm.
It's because landlords are all using this AI system. They just punch in their numbers and it sets the price for them, what they should charge. And it's going around and just basically price fixing. And then it has like a 9% or so raise every year. And it just keeps, adding that on, adding that on. And rent prices are through the roof now. So they're actually
Mhm.
looking at the creator of this AI for basically doing price fixing.
So I thought they were synonymous. What's the difference between price gouging and price fixing?
Um, Price fixing is when like people come together to establish setting high prices and then just basically screwing customers over, not being competitive but working together to keep raising the price.
Yeah, I thought that's what price gouging was.
Price gouging is kind of like the individual, so like Coke just raising the price for no reason. There's no
Oh,
change in
it's
cost,
okay.
but
So
yet
when they
they're
work
charging more.
together,
Yeah, that's price fixing.
okay. I'm glad you corrected that. I use them interchangeably.
Yeah, so like Coke and Pepsi, they just start justifying raising prices for I think it was no reason at all, but they're working together, but they're both jacking their prices up, but
Right.
for no there's no reason for it. Prices should be actually going down.
Right. Well, even if they show that there's like some sort of increase in raw materials needed, they're going far above what they would need to keep their
Well, their
profit
justification
stable.
was aluminum tariffs. So when Trump put aluminum tariffs on, that all gets passed on to the consumer.
Hmm.
Companies are not going to eat the cost of paying to import more goods. They're going to put that on the good and then make you pay extra for it. And when Trump put the aluminum and steel tariffs on, Pepsi and Coke justified their price hikes because of aluminum prices going up. And well, Biden let those expire, and they
Hmm.
expired now for like a year or two now, and they're still haven't brought their prices down.
Right. So that's that. I think that's the same deal that Kamala is talking about when she says, in essence, his tariffs are a nationwide sales tax because that's
Yeah,
what's going to happen. Exactly what you're talking about there.
exactly. If you look back before the Great Depression, I can't remember the guy's name. He went with a whole bunch of tariffs on all these places, and it just
Hmm.
destroyed the economy.
Hmm.
And then we got the Great Depression.
Yep. Yep. So it's like Trump's trying to do the exact same thing again. He somehow thinks that it's going to help this time.
Well, and it caused us to lose I forget how many billions of dollars in soybean contracts with China. China's our biggest buyer of like wheat and soybeans. We're
Hmm.
one of the biggest producers, and his stupid little trade war cost us billions of dollars. We actually had to bail farmers out in 2017 or 2018 to the tune of like $63 billion.
Hmm. I didn't know about that. Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of intricacies to government and everything. I mean, there's just so much.
Oh
It's
yeah.
any one person can't focus on everything.
Right.
That's
Well, everything's complicated in my experience. Every time I think I'm going to learn something, and it's like, oh, I can pick this up in a couple of days. Nope. Doesn't matter what it is. There's always like really complex shit that you also need to learn to understand the basics of it.
well, I kind of seen that with video games. I think that kind of got me over some of that because I look at some of these really complex video games, you like RimWorld or Factorino and all these other games. I mean, it's just a million moving parts.
Mm.
You start out, you're looking at it and you're like, I can never do that. I just buy them and I start, and before you know it, I'm doing the same thing they're doing in the damn videos. I mean, it's just you just got to take the time to learn, and then you just keep compounding on top, that knowledge on top of the knowledge, and then you get better at it.
Right. Right. I'd say it pretty much works that way for most things, but
Exactly.
you do have to have limits. You got to pick your areas.
Well, it's just applying yourself and not giving up whenever you get discouraged or
Right.
defeated.
Agreed. So what's been going on?
Not a whole lot. Just waiting for a email or a phone call right now.
Mm.
Everything seems to have stabilized, I think. So normalized, I should say more so.
Oh yeah, pretty much same for me. Don't have a lot of free time, but it's like the usual now. It's been like weeks, so kind of get used to it.
It's nice once you can get in that routine where it's just you almost forget your whole week went by. I mean, it's like,
I
oh,
hate
it's
it.
the weekend.
I hate it. That's why I try my best to at least do a few things that are novel so that something stands out because I can't handle it when just days run into each other. Everything's exactly the same. Not a fan.
Well, see, I've taken hiatuses over the years where I just don't do anything for like a year, 2 years, 3
I
years, and just
I do
do
that
whatever I
too.
want.
I do that too. It goes back into my deal where like I don't put too much emphasis on money and like I'm not
Well,
saying it doesn't matter, but it's not the most important thing in the world.
I understand my limitations for the most part. I know I'm not going to be. I mean, I don't come from the right stock, basically.
Hmm. Well, it's a personality thing, I believe.
Well, yeah, and I'm very introverted too, so a lot of people find me condescending too. I just try to correct people or inform them or pass
Hmm.
on some wisdom, and it's like, oh, you're condescending, you're an asshole. Well, fuck you too, then, asshole.
People
And
react differently to it too. Like me, I don't get offended by it. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Like,
I found it just so weird how. Well, I mean, it's people are just not intellectual. I mean, they're just your kind of jock mentality. Just as I always tell the ex, it's like the reactionary thought based. So they see something that then it triggers a thought, but they don't
mhm,
think independently.
right, right. Yeah, and it's annoying to me. I understand they kind of just are how they're wired, but at the same time, it's like, why? Why do you not analyze anything? Like you just everything is like a gut reaction. There is
Hmm.
no analysis at all, and it's I
Well, it
don't
goes back to
understand it.
that brain thing we were looking at. Right brain, left brain. I put a couple of things up there for you. The diagram about the brain, and I actually put the test there and took it.
Right, right. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to do it myself, but I saw your golden brain.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I didn't even know that was a thing until was looking more about it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, and then I see I got the thing. I was like, "Well, what if that changed?" And I better take this test again. I want to make sure. I
Right,
don't want to say
right.
something and then be wrong.
It's interesting. I didn't know it was a thing either.
Yeah, I just remember my teacher when she gave me that, she just like stopped and she was like, "You use both sides equally." I'm like, "What?" Like I didn't. To me, I just played. I didn't know, really anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty neat, the understanding of it, how they can work in harmony, both lobes.
Hmm. It is interesting. I like the video that I had. I was actually, like I said, going to post it too, but you already beat me to it. But that video, there's some things that I disagree with personally, but that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, it would have to be something done in a more, up to date
Mhm.
medical
The,
process.
yes, but well, there's always issues with. Uh, I don't know if I'll call it hubris, but people make assumptions and they'll run everything through the lens of that assumption. And it's great if you have people that are also on the other side that are like, let's try to disprove that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I believe he made a lot of assumptions based on the evidence. Now the evidence is legit. I have no problem with that. But I think that it's not complete. And I think some of his end like conclusion was a little bit rushed, I guess is what I would say.
Well, and in the time, it was what, the 1970s when that was done again, or 60s.
Yeah, that's true. We
I
need
mean,
more work.
we have come so far since then with like neurological things, and like the brain is still a mystery to a lot of people. Like um the anesthesiologist. I mean, to them, their job's still basically a mystery to how it works.
Right, right. How was it like an accident? They accidentally stumbled across it?
um, well, what for that split brain, or
No, anesthesia.
I think they're just playing with the was it the limbic system,
Hmm.
um, and just just messing with it. I mean, you got a lot of that corpse snatchers from like the 1800s, going around digging up graves, dissecting them in their basement. And well, I'm sure there were some hobos that met some dark fates that way too, because they're like,
Probably.
well, we need a live cadaver. We need to know what happens if we push on this or poke this. I mean,
Doesn't surprise me. I haven't followed a whole lot lately. I've kind of fallen out of the loop on certain things, but I did watch pieces of the debate. I'd been waiting on it because I really wanted to see how Kamala handled herself.
I thought it was really good. She baited him the whole time.
Yeah, well, she knew the best tactics to use,
Well,
and it worked. It worked perfectly.
you gotta think she's worked with the most. She had to prosecute some of the most degenerate people. Gonna feed her the most lies and bullshit, and she knows she can sit there and take that all day.
Yeah, that's true. She wasn't ruffled, from what I could tell. I think at first, this is just my observation. I think at first she was a little antsy, a little nervous, but it very quickly went away once she realized that Trump was just biting on everything and making himself look like a moron.
Well, yeah, he's a child. Like he'll go off his emotions. You can just poke at his emotions, and he's gonna, flail.
Yeah, it's true, and it works every time. And she picked the best thing. I like how she wasn't absolutely direct. She kind of like the point where she brought up his rallies and how the people would get bored and just leave. She didn't directly say that he has small rallies or anything. She just kind of she slipped it in there.
she let his own inferiority complex come in and
Yeah, which is
what
perfect because it tells you more about him, and it was great. Like there's so many times like that. And hello, Rash.
oh he's not awake yet completely.
Oh,
Hello.
good morning.
I don't. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Did you see any of it, Rash?
Just the comedy versions that came out of Jon Stewart, Daily Show, that kind of stuff.
Fair, fair.
Basically, the highlights.
During the beginning, I almost stopped watching, and I did for a little bit because it became a well, he's lying, she's lying, and it's like we didn't really learn anything. Like at first, that's how it seemed to me,
Right.
and but later it kind of straightened out, and we got some actual information. From my point of view, Trump didn't really put forth any policies. He literally he sidetracked or just went off topic for almost everything.
His only policies are in theory yet, and no tangible plan actually.
Yeah,
Just
I
my plan will
loved
be
it.
better than yours.
I
Mine is always
loved
the
it.
best.
They asked questions, and then he's like, "Well, this was all rigged." I don't believe so. It's just he it's a legit question. Kamala has an answer, and he goes, "Well, I'm working on it. I'm working on it." He always says that I'm working on it for Trump means he don't care about it.
He was working on an infrastructure plan. He was working on healthcare. I mean, he's never accomplished anything. The guy only gave a tax cut. I mean, in
Yep.
his whole 4 years, he all he did was repeal Obama things. Like Obama lifted the embargo on Cuba. Well, Trump had to put that embargo back on Cuba. Poor Cuba. I feel sorry for you people. um, Obama banned for-profit prisons. So they were in the process of getting rid of for-profit prisons. Trump came
Mhm.
in. He put for-profit prisons back in business.
Right.
Obama put special train braking rules in place for trains with hazardous materials. Well, Trump undid that for the train companies. And
Yep.
well, we got that big spill in Ohio. So, I mean, everything he did set us back so much. The tariffs that ran, I mean, that drained everybody's pockets. That ran the price of everything through the roof because everything uses steel, aluminum, some way or shape.
Yeah, I agree. What's going on? Is anybody following the West Bank situation? I haven't been following that lately.
Oh God.
Are they still like hardcore blazing ahead and freaking killing people and shit?
Well, it got pretty good. Actually, I seen supposedly today. I guess Hamas ambushed IDF soldiers in a building and just blew them all up.
Hmm.
And now I guess was it Hezbollah just attacked Israel, just sending drones after drone after drone after them, and then attacked one of their surveillance outposts up on a mountain, just blew it all up.
Interesting.
So it's getting interesting, we'll say.
Okay.
Is there any news on the Israeli helicopter that went down? Like, did they know it was it an accident or did somebody actually shoot it down?
I mean, I'm sure it was probably shot down.
All right. Last I heard, they're claiming it was an accident. So
I mean, did you see that crater from that 2,000 pound bomb they dropped on that refugee camp? I mean, that was
uh,
just. They were looking for body parts. There's just arms and legs just laying around. I mean, it was a crater. They had to crawl up out of it.
What did they claim that Hamas infiltrated the refugee camp?
yep.
That's what they always do. They're such liars.
But the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is,
disgusting.
if that was the case, somebody pointed out, why use such a big bomb? That's like a bunker buster bomb. They're
Yeah,
using it at
that's
sea where there's no tunnels. You can't have tunnels that close to the beach because they get waterlogged and whatnot.
well, yeah, it's
Hmm.
all sand there. That's why it left such a big crater. But
Yeah,
U.S. even said no using 2,000 pound bombs. There's no need for it whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, they don't care because obviously they're just looking to cause as much damage as possible.
Yeah.
don't give a
Well,
shit.
it's ethnic cleansing, is what we're seeing.
Yep. If there's no Palestinians, they don't have to worry about shit, and they can just take all their land and do
Well,
what the fuck they
exactly.
want.
They want. Well, did you see that? Was it Sky News or somebody called Benjamin out that he didn't have West Bank even on the map?
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he was like
Uh,
showing his battle plans, and West Bank wasn't even on the map anymore. It's like it was, just part of Israel now. It's like, geez, he's not even trying to hide it anymore.
that's pretty interesting. The Sky News is pretty far right.
I know that's what it's like. The Fox News of Australia.
Yeah,
What do you
basically,
mean? Well, they are Jewish for the most part. What you expect? I don't get what you mean by that.
A lot of the Jewish people of Israel are protesting this war. It's
Yeah.
Benjamin Netanyahu, the PM, and the
Well,
IDF forces.
this is the point I always make because the right like to strawman us and say that we're like, what's
semi.
the? Yeah, that's it, anti-Semites. And when that's obviously not the case. It's the same thing if like America did fucked up shit like it does all the time, and I call them out for it.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
mean,
make me anti-American.
well,
Like that's
here's how I
stupid.
put it. I'm never anti-troops. Like I respect our troops wholeheartedly. They never choose where they're going, their mission, or anything to do that. I
Mhm.
can have a disagreement with the commander in chief who does do a lot of that.
Mhm.
So always respect the men that put their lives in harm's way for your rights. Always have respect for them. But the commander in chief, no, I mean, we're in America. We get to criticize him.
Mhm. It's a
That's,
beautiful
some,
thing. You don't want to waste that. Not many people have that.
that's something you always have to respect because whether we like what they do or not, that person got the, I call it moral integrity to actually put their own life in danger for whatever it is they believe, whether it's right or wrong or whatever. At least they've got that moral integrity to actually say, well, look, I'm putting my life forward. So I do agree with it that way, yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
they don't just fight wars. They do humanitarian aid when they do disaster relief. I mean, they're there when shit gets bad, no matter what. They're there to help.
What about that what's it called? The Army Corps engineers or something like that?
Yeah.
Those guys? They seem to have a really good rep until they get it wrong. Like they screwed up a flood something happened in the US a while back. And then this debacle with the jetty that they put up in Gaza. How did they screw those things up? Didn't they tell somebody doing a jetty was a stupid idea?
Well, sometimes shit does. Like some projects, the Army Corps actually takes over.
Mm,
So some things are done, private hands, and then the Army's like, yeah, we're taking that over now. That's ours now.
right.
And so, I mean, shit does go wrong at times. I mean, you can't, predict, a storm that's going to dump down extensive amounts of rain that's going to overflow your dam, and you just can't account for everything, especially back, if it's 100 years old.
I'm just saying generally they have a really good reputation. So
Oh yeah, the Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, our military is built just like the Roman military was. The Roman military is all about its Corps of Engineers. They were the road builders. I mean, the Colosseum builders. Army. They built everything pretty much, and that was mainly to keep them well drilled, disciplined, and keep them from raping and looting. Like when they're out in campaign, you kept them working, you kept them busy. They ain't gonna be out doing stupid shit.
Right. Many of the soldiers are likely lied to all the damn time when we do fucked up shit. Well, it's just like how the media covers it and they spin on it, like when we basically
Uh,
butchered all of Latin America.
well, it's
Like we
when they break people up into groups,
Mhm.
compartmentalization.
Right.
And that's how it is. You have no idea. You're just in a unit somewhere out, part of a bigger unit, and
True, but even worse than that, they're told that those are the bad guys. That there's like corrupt dictators, etc.
well, I mean, if you're in the military, I mean, you're hoping you're making the right choice for the right
Mhm.
reasons. I mean, that's just you always hope you're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
that video I posted about the what's it called, Tiger Force or whatever in Vietnam,
Mhm.
they were literally told it's open fire season in that area. You're allowed to shoot anything that moves.
Well, those boys
So-
mostly didn't want to be there. They were drafted, so a lot of them were ripped out of their homes, out of their company life, sent across the world, and thrown in a jungle, and then had Charlie shooting at them every damn day and night, and picking off every medic they seen. I mean, stepping on the poop traps, the bamboo boxes that they shit in. Like Vietnam was hell. So I mean, they were mad, a little mad.
It goes
Well,
back to what you said. It's the soldiers say, yeah, some of them were doing bad things that they probably knew they shouldn't be doing.
But
But at
what
the
were the
same
Vietnam
time,
doing too?
leaders who told them, oh, yeah, you can go and do something like that, or just sent them in there in the first place.
it's worth noting that a lot of people in Vietnam knew that they were being told bullshit because it became common practice. I can't remember what it's called, but the soldiers would like send some sort of symbol, like a grenade or something. I can't remember what they called it, but it was a very common thing where they would kill their own fucking commanders.
Yep,
Or they
yep.
would threaten them first, and then if they didn't listen, they would off them because they were tired of their bullshit and being lied to. So it again, going back to what you said, it's not really the soldiers' fault.
What it's kind of funny you say about that. I was watching actually a thing about the Russian military. They have commissars for kind of the opposite reason. As soon as the troops started showing weakness, the commissar would come up and shoot them in the head.
What the hell?
That was World War II. That was when they were doing us. What was it? Defense of Stalingrad.
That's
You know,
fucked.
oh yeah, that's where the Warhammer 40K gets it from. Is like the trench warfare and stuff like that. I might have been World War One actually.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, if men showed cowardice or trying to run away, commissar would shoot you dead.
That's one thing you missed out about saying that the U.S. military like the Romans. Didn't the Romans, if one of them did something stupid, they'd kill 100 of them or 10 of them or something
No,
like
no, 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 no. No, see, there was when something really messed up was done. Like a whole unit really did something messed up. It was called decimation.
that? That's the one.
Um, they were broken up into groups of 10, and one out of the 10 was picked at random, and the other 9 had to beat him to death.
Yeah. Well,
And
okay,
that
the U.S.
was the
military is
most
not.
extreme punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could have had, your best friend you had since you were a child, and he gets picked and he's in your unit with you, and you all of a sudden you got to beat him to death. Yeah.
The Roman army, was it conscripts or was it volunteers?
Well, for the first half of the Roman Empire, you had to be actually a landowner to actually fight for Rome and be in the army. Then they kind of ran out of land, so they kind of were like, "Hey, how about you join the military and then you earn some land?" And so it
But
was a
still,
lot of
volunteers.
it was for the pay for the most part. I mean, a lot of people did it for the pay, and it paid better than a lot of things. I mean, you had seasons too, like the winter months. You came back, nobody really warred during the winter months. That was the summer months that you went to war. Spring was planting season, and then you had fall. You got back from campaigning usually in the fall, so you could do your harvest.
I mean, that's probably a healthy way to do it. I mean, you just spend most of your time traveling to the war,
We got to
for a
think
few.
food. Okay, if you got 1,000 men like like Rome, the Roman army was huge compared to anything at its time. No,
Mm.
no period until modern days could force field a force like the Romans could. We're talking like hundreds of thousands of men. I mean, we didn't see that until nowadays. Even in medieval times, when those battles happened, it was only a few thousand men. It was no hundreds of thousands of men.
Yeah.
And the Romans could do that because of their logistical supply lines. Egypt was the breadbasket, so they shipped in most of their grain from Egypt, but then also the plains of Ukraine and the steppes out there. A lot of food came in through there. And those logistic lines always had fresh food pumping to the front lines wherever the legions were headed. So that was, I mean, the key part. You got to feed an army, or an army ain't going anywhere. Napoleon learned that the hard
Is
way.
something that carries through to the modern day. It's like they say 90% of the military are not actually the fighters. Most, like you say, logistics and whatnot. I don't know if the 90% figures correct.
Wait,
Some
yeah, you got all your mechanics, all the people moving your, the pilots, the captains. I mean, all the ones moving the stuff. I mean,
make
your cooks.
Have you guys ever done any digging into Genghis Khan?
I know a little bit, but he has a lot of kids. It was like 10,000
He
kids.
is very interesting to me. He's not like your typical, like, I'm not saying he's good, but you get sold this, he was pure like warlord. He actually changed things in a positive way. All of the warlord type people in the clans and whatever would, as leaders, it was common that just like pretty much anything during that time, the leader took a large cut. He took the
Hmm.
exact same as he gave all of his soldiers, and they, because of that, they were fiercely loyal. It's
Well, maybe,
interesting.
I mean, maybe that's what he told them, but I mean, he did change the world. Like that guy is like I play Crusader Kings too, and he is a
Mm,
threat on that thing. And I mean,
right.
the way he sweeps through the land and just converted empire. I like the history. If you get into it, where he actually got to Hungary and Lithuania,
Mhm.
and the Lithuanian and the Hungarians actually their mounted cavalry is what actually fought the Mongolians back. They became the Iron Wall, basically, that stumped the Mongol invasion. I found it was really cool. Knights,
Hmm.
heavily armored knights. I mean, this is your, I mean, what, 15th century, just armored to the teeth, knights, horses decked fully out, and just riding straight in the gut.
Do you know what Genghis's first main obstacle was? Like early on when he was like coming outside of the steppes, his biggest obstacle at first was walls. He had never seen them before. He had never dealt with them, and they didn't have siege weaponry or anything. So he's like, "We got to figure out how to deal with this."
Yeah,
So
he
so
was
he
great at adopting things.
yes, he was a very great tactician, and so what he did is he took their own people. I can't remember what it's called, some sort of dynasty in that region, and he took their own people and basically was like, "Hey, teach me how to make siege weapons," and they did, and that's how he continued.
Yeah,
I
he
heard they
started.
hurt the DNA from so much screwing. Like
Yeah,
there's people everywhere related to Genghis Khan.
yeah. It
Yep,
says like a fifth of the people in Asia have like a relative to Genghis Khan.
it's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, I seen that thing and it just got me thinking. Like, if you go back 10 generations, that takes 4,096 people to make you. So if you
Mhm.
add, you have two parents, but then you have four grandparents, and then 16 great grandparents, and then it gives up to 10 generations. I mean, that's just it's crazy.
It is
We're all interconnected in so many ways, though.
very true, very true. It's why I don't do too much collectivism. I think everyone just does to some extent, but I don't identify with a nation. It's so dumb to me.
I don't either. I'm an Earthling. That's basically how I say it. We understand that it's all one ball, and that's it.
Mhm.
Everything's imaginary lines to me.
Yep. That's why, to some extent, I do see there's a good argument to be had against globalization, but I see it as probably more positive than not because the more globalization there is, the more we rely on each other. The more we rely on each other, the less likely we are to fuck each other up
Well, I think
in general.
exactly. My theory is if we are one united body, so basically we'd break up. Each continent would have like a board of seven that would have then one that goes up to another board of seven, and then that would be the High Council basically that make the final decisions of the seven continents,
Mhm.
and just break it up. You can go down like your two basic, kind of like a pyramid system, but you just have your levels of government all the way from your counties up to your states or dukedoms basically, and I mean
Mhm.
upward to the whole continent, and then you have your top leader, and then they would make decisions, and we'd all be basically one big world nation, one
Mhm.
single military. I mean, then there's no other enemy to fight. I mean, use that single military to wipe out any threats, terrorists, anything like that, neutralize all that, and then just put people through military. Have your Army Corps engineers and more for disaster relief than anything.
Mhm.
And then you could focus all other resources on space, collecting resources from space instead of taking from the Earth.
Yeah, agreed. The only tricky thing would be that would be the ultimate power. If there were a leader for that.
Well, that's why I said there's 7 at the top. So you'd have a high council of
Oh,
7.
okay.
So each continent would put forth their main leader, but then it's a council of 7, which being an odd number, then you
Mhm.
can't have a tie on anything. So I mean, and then from them, each country or continent would have 7 leaders of that, and
Oh,
then
I like tuned that out. That's a good point. So you covered it.
yeah,
That
you
would
want to have
make
a
a lot of sense.
y-
But still, you would need to be very careful in your selection of those
what,
7.
and
That
it
would
would
be
have to be
huge.
democratic, and people.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it would be so easy to go democratic because we all have electrical devices. We all have our ID numbers. We're not known by names. We're known by a number. Everyone of us has a number. Punch that number in. You cast that vote on a blockchain. It cannot be edited or messed with from any other source.
Hmm.
And everybody casts their vote. Hey guys, do you want to pass abortion? Everybody cast your votes. Hey, this day, before this time, and then everybody puts their vote in. Bloop. You see a graph goes up on a TV. Hey, it passed. 90 days, it goes into law.
That
But
would
you,
be that's like the ultimate democracy. It's like if you disagree with it, cool, but it's the greater good in some sense because it's what most people want.
And I'd always say put maybe like a 60-day period. Like right now, they're reclassifying marijuana, so they're taking it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. But
Hmm.
before they can go through the court system to do that, they had to put it up for public debate for 60 days. So that way, people have any concerns or any objections or anything, they can put those forth, and then they will be heard in the hearing. And then just do that with any law that you would have the people vote on. Be like, hey, 60 days here, learn about this, make an informed decision on this.
I like
but
it.
you need a massive shift in the way people think. I mean, it's the whole tribalism thing.
Well,
Hmm.
I
Imagine
think
you have
we're getting there. This new generation, like I grew up in the millennials, we grew up connecting with people around the world. Like I played with when I played WoW hardcore back in the day, I played with a kid from Iraq at the time, and this was like in the early 2000s. I was like, wait, Iraq, and I became friends with this kid, and him and I and another guy called Doc, we did a 3v3 PvP team and stuff. Like I became friends with a kid from Iraq. I mean, never would have thought that,
Hmm.
and that kind of got rid of all uh, that Bush kind of era.
I believe that what you're talking about is the case for pretty much all mankind. Like you can see it in practice historically. When you take people that have that skepticism toward other groups like white people and black people, when you integrate them, and you see this in big cities, what happens is they start to learn, hey, they're people. Hey, they're more alike than not. And then they just mingle, they start becoming friends, and then they lose that racism over time, except for extremists, of course.
Well, exactly. And video games, I think, are the biggest way to break those barriers. Because on video games, you actually pick a different race,
Hmm.
and guess what? Humans are a single race.
Right.
They're not. They're never, multiple races of humans. It's all you pick a human. Then what
That
shade
is
of color?
true. Right.
I'd like to give two different options. You mentioned, you've got 7 leaders for each one, well, a group for each of the continents. But I've been thinking, what if one particular continent gets all the resources, well, has all the resources? That gives it massive leverage to say, well, hey, look, we've got all the stuff. You guys have to give us more. There's going
Or
to be
Yes,
that
maybe
mentality going on.
but if
What
there's
about,
democracy, like Gadwin mentioned, it's not like that one continent doesn't necessarily hold more power than the rest. So it's still
mm,
spread out across the board in terms of like choices and policies and stuff. At least the way I understood it. I may have.
we yeah, it'd be basically one government. So we would be one government body. It just broken for governing reasons. I mean, it would be impossible for like a very small government to rule a massive world. That's not like you had to have it from the county level and then up to like the dukedom state
delegate,
level, and you'd have
uh,
people elected at each levels, like a mayor, governor, through all across the whole entire world though. And then you have to allocate money. So say we have a lot of money here in the United States. Well, now we can allocate trillions of dollars to build Africa and undo all the destructions we did to Africa. Come in and actually do things right ways, and actually put in proper cities with sewage and water and all that stuff.
Um,
And then we can get a return on investment, because once you do that, you put that big investment in there, you get those people good, sustainable areas that the raise families, they're going to increase the population, and then they're going to create industry. They're going to extract, and then they're going to create stuff.
that's not. It's this thing of, well, we're supposed to be doing stuff for the planet, for everybody, sort of
Mhm.
equally. So, okay, I'm gonna sound really communist here, but this thing of, okay, like, oh, I want to make a car. I'm gonna get the steel from, one area of the world. I'm gonna get the rubber from a different area of the world. I'm gonna get the lithium battery or whatever it is. Dig up,
Well,
maybe the Congo's okay then, there's no war
well,
there anymore. Gonna
well
get
you
stuff from
you
there.
you'd want to
Bring it
think of it
all,
more
you
as
know,
you want to stockpile in every country. So, like, say you have a giant warehouse that has every material you need, and you have that as where your harbor is, and every country has one of these, and you just want to keep filling these up, so that way people can pull whatever they need at any time from those main stockpiles. Because a lot of these resources are worldwide. We have a lot of things in many places of the world. The same things: iron,
mm,
nickel, uranium, cobalt, you name it. We just got to extract it and find it, and just do it in a clean way where we're not poisoning people. And what it's climate change is not about saving the planet. I think that's where the biggest misconception is. It's not about saving the planet. It's about keeping it so we can stay living here. Like, otherwise we're going to cook ourselves off the damn surface.
True, although it can be both. They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, but it's
What?
mainly because the Earth will be fine. It'll bounce back again. About every 20 million years after an extinction, life comes back on this
Mhm.
planet. But we won't be here.
That's true. So what you're saying is this is the primary reason. This is the driving force behind it.
I would say for human. I mean, eventually if we would keep with progressed technology, this capitalism growth system. I mean, eventually we turn this whole planet into one giant city.
Mhm.
I mean, it would turn into just oh, I can't even think of megalopolis or something like that. Megatron. Oh, what's it called? Rash,
Mega
you should
City
know it.
1.
Oh no,
Do
there's
you
a,
know
a
that?
Utopia?
planet. A planet. It's a whole city. It's called
Oh,
something. I
Hmm.
can't think of it.
I can't remember. I don't know. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I had them on Stellaris. I had a whole bunch of miles of mega power in the galaxy. uh, but I mean, yeah, I've done a lot of simulation things, building whole galaxy empires, and conquering total war 100 times over a beat. I think with every faction there is. So, I mean, and not on easy either. I play on hard, very hard.
They need to make a 40K Warhammer.
Yeah, they're working on it actually.
Are they?
Yep,
Awesome. I'm
yep.
gonna get addicted.
That's the next flagship, buddy. Because
Damn.
well, this is it for Total War, Warhammer 3. I mean, that's the end of this series. That's where they're
Hmm.
stopping with that.
It makes sense. They covered all the factions. Like,
Oh my! Well, you did download Immortal Empires, didn't you?
mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I played the hell out of that. I got up to like 900 hours now.
Hell yeah. I haven't really messed with other games because I feel guilty. It's like the downside of becoming a guild leader. Um, I feel like I have to invest my time into the game, otherwise people are going to leave. So
Yeah,
it's like it
I've been there.
sucks.
I started out long a time ago as a guildie, and then became a guild leader. Built a real raid guild. Did the whole raiding thing. The guild fell apart. Got into another guild. Well, that and fell apart, and then just was jumping around from guild to guild, just not wanting to deal with people's bullshit anymore.
Mhm. Fair.
I used to be all that happy, excited. Yeah, I'm gonna make friends and everything, happy go lucky on and then you just get into all the people's drama and their bullshit and their excuses,
Right.
and it's like, Jesus, I just want to play a fucking video. I want to kill this boss. I need this fucking armor piece or something. Just come the fuck on.
Does Earth still exist in 40K?
Yeah, it's called Terra.
Cool. They finally got the name right.
Well, Terra Firma
Yeah, Terra
would be the proper name.
sounds better than Earth.
but yeah, Terra. It's very Roman, and well, I mean, if you get in the 40K, you'll see our history all over it. Like they robbed our history of everything they could and put it in 40K and gave it a unique name just so they could copyright it.
Of course. That's the one thing I'm not a fan of when it comes to Warhammer. Of course, they work in collaboration with what's the company that does the video games?
Oh, which one? They have a lot of crappy video games out there.
No, I mean like the Warhammer game, Total War. I guess Total War is the
Oh,
so
CA, Creative
yeah,
Assembly.
yeah, yeah. That's it. So they work with them, and CA is not necessarily bad, but frickin' the creators of Warhammer gouge the shit out of people. They charge
Yeah,
insane amounts of money for like plastic figurines.
yeah, they're called Games Workshop is their main company.
Yeah, that's
They're
it.
they're out of the UK. They're one of the most greedy sons of bitches on the planet.
If you put me in charge of research and development, everything's going to go downhill because I'm a troll. Bad idea. Bad idea. Don't make me anything. I'm just, like maybe like the jester or something.
See, I can't be a capitalist. I feel bad for people. Like I can feel like when I worked with my cousin, my family, we had another guy that worked with us, and I would get bonuses.
Uh-huh.
And well, I found out one time they didn't give him a bonus, and I was like, "Hey, did they give you a bonus? Because if they didn't give you, I'm giving you half of mine because that shit ain't gonna fly." And so after that, they made sure they always gave him bonuses when they gave me one because
What I
I'm a
did as when I was a grocery manager, stocking shelves at the grocery store, I got a bonus. It wasn't massive, but it would be like an extra 2 paychecks worth or something. I created a system to where all of my stock crew got a certain percentage of it, except whoever performed the best got a little bit higher chunk, but I gave my money to them and basically took about the same amount that I gave, a little bit more than they did.
I mean,
And I
that
think
alone
that's
makes you
right.
feel good. I mean,
I,
that alone just makes you feel good. I mean,
it
if not, to
does.
take them out to eat some fucking Chinese food, and, pay for the whole fucking meal because that's gonna be like
Mhm.
$100 anyway.
I
Yeah, I've
never
always taken
understood it.
people out
Like,
and treated people good. Well, tried to, but then I noticed people are shitty. A lot of them.
right. Well, you don't want to like give people benefits if they're just crap human beings, but I
Well,
tr-
yeah. If you're too good to people, then they know you're just good natured. Don't let them take advantage of you.
right.
That's I've had that too many times.
Yep. Well, as a grocery manager, I didn't have to stock. I chose to because I believe in leading by example. There's a big difference between a leader and a boss. A boss is the
Hmm.
person that crosses their arms and says, you do this, or else. I actually competed with my stalkers. And like, I was like, we would race. And it might sound bad, but it worked because
That's
it was
my
fun.
uncle always did that. My grandma and my uncle was always like, make it a game, make it into a game,
Exactly. Exactly. And
and
we
always
would,
have fun. And what a lot of people don't understand too nowadays is like many hands make easy work.
mhm.
Like if you ever watch Amish build a barn, they can build a whole barn and complete top to finish in one day. That's because
Mhm.
there's 100 of them there putting their hands together and getting it done. Like
Right.
people come together, you get things done quick. It definitely did on the farm.
Right. And that works best if you're a leader, not a boss,
Yep.
because people don't like you're kind of leading through fear. And well, that's not leading. You're making people fear for consequences, and that doesn't give nearly as much drive as someone respecting you and wanting to work for you, having fun. I mean, you.
Well, they'll get discontent for you because they see you not pulling your weight. And I mean, I had a boss. That's all
Mhm.
he'd do. He would drive us to the work site. He'd pull up. He'd get out. He'd look around, get back in his truck, and sit there and do absolutely nothing. We would unload the trucks, pour the concrete, everything,
Mhm.
and he'd do absolutely nothing. And then have the audacity
Audacity.
to complain about like the stupid shit, like mud in the trucks or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
go pound sand, dude.
exactly. It's like fuck you. Like I don't respect that, and I don't think anyone should.
I drove their work trucks. Like I worked for them like 2 different years. I worked for them. I
Mhm.
forgot why I quit the first time. I remembered why the second time. Um, I drove their trucks. I would get there at 5 in the morning. I'd load their work truck and then drive it across the state to somewhere. And we'd start at 7. We weren't allowed to put it down when we started before that. We had to start only at 7 because that's when the noise ordinance ended. I didn't get paid any time between then. I got paid from 7 to about 1, 2, 3 in the morning or in the afternoon when we got done with concrete, pouring a basement, garage, usually patio, and then pack up, get back home. And then we get our paychecks. They would chop 5 hours off and say that we got 2 15-minute breaks and a half-hour lunch that I had to deduct.
That is bullshit.
I was like, yeah, no wonder all your people quit.
I had like a lot of times the truck would be late or something and my crew would be there and they're like, okay, I want you guys to clock out and clock back in when the truck shows up. And he called me and I told him straight up, I'm not going to have my crew do that. They're here and they don't want to be here. They're here off of their personal time in this building waiting on that truck. They're going to get paid, period. And
yeah, that's
like,
my uncle.
Yeah, we got into arguments and I nearly got fired, but I was not having them clock out, period.
Andy, you got a lot of interference. My uncle always paid us one way. So if anything over an hour that we drove anywhere, we got paid at least one way.
Right. That's cool.
Or if I drove, then I got paid regardless.
You got something going on in the background, Andy.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Hey, it might be my AC. Let me move inside.
You're fine.
Wait,
Hey, I've had jobs. If I didn't get paid for travel, I didn't work.
That's what I'm saying. You should get paid for
bullshit.
anything that you wouldn't be doing on your personal time.
Exactly. If I'm not home doing this, please. Dude, when I was a kid, I worked for a lawn care service. We did a lot of driving around. That's not my fucking problem. If you're not going to pay for transport, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Hey, Trops, is this any better?
Yeah, I don't hear anything now.
All right.
You're a little loud, though. You might have a little closer.
Oh, well, I'm a loud person. Fuck.
I know.
Hey, I'm going to shut up in a minute. I just want to say, hey, Melody, I hope you're doing good. All right, I'm going to stand by now. Go ahead.
I just found out that I wasn't trying to get you to leave, Andy. You're good. But I just found out that at least in North Carolina, you are not legally required to give people 15-minute breaks or lunches, period. Like none of it's legal. Like it's just what people do. Like it's like I guess it's competitive edge for companies because other companies do it. But I guess you call her the mother of my children. She just had it set up. She works for a hotel chain, and they told her you don't get breaks or 15 minutes or anything. And she looked it up, and there is no legal requirement. You can make them just work straight through, even if it's like 12 hours, whatever.
Yeah, I definitely believe that coming from North Carolina. They have some scrupulous history.
They do. I know. But
hey, Trump, you know what my thing is about working conditions? If you don't like it, quit and get something you do like. I have no sympathy.
I agree with that to some extent. However, it's not like anyone can do anything and like everybody has like the sky's the limit. It don't work that way. Like oftentimes people are in situations to where they just can't. They try. They can't get anything else, and it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're stupid. It's because in my opinion, it's because of I've met people far smarter than me that works at Walmart. Like,
I don't up here in Appalachia.
If there's a Walmart around, there's a lot of people. If there's a lot of people, there's a lot of jobs.
Not really.
Well, even if there's jobs, that doesn't mean there's good jobs. If every company does the same bullshit, you don't have an option.
Dude, I've worked. I'm a working person. I know the routine.
When was the last time you worked?
Whatever. The last time I've worked? About 8 or 9 years.
It's probably changed a good bit since then.
Everything's changed in 9 years. Dude, it's not that fucking long ago.
Oh, well,
like I said, hey, listen to this. I had a job when I was a cabinet maker, okay? I fucking harped on my boss. I wanted a 401k. Okay, yeah. You know what I finally did? I quit and I went to a place that had 401k. And guess what? I couldn't smoke weed, but guess what? I quit smoking weed.
Up here now, it's funny. I see all the places. The one place I applied out down here. It's funny. It's a cabinet place. It's where it's same name but a different place as where I used to work. They've now put on the thing. Piss test does not test for THC.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they now up here in PA, since PA legalized weed for the most part. It's medical. So
Oh,
now a lot of the drug tests it says does not test for THC, but you still get drug tests, but it's for all the hard shit.
dude, I don't care, dude. And the way I look at it anyway, I mean, I don't know, there's Delta 8, Delta 9, whatever you're referring to. Weed makes people lazy. Believe me, I smoked for fucking a long fucking time. Anybody that says, oh, dude, yeah, whatever. I've heard that argument too many times. It's a joke.
No, I get a strain that doesn't make me sleepy. So like I vape White
Okay.
Widow mostly. It's a very kind of upper, makes you kind of spry, not sleepy.
Yeah. I don't know if it was you or not. I've heard people say shit like that, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm stuck at a fucking couch, dude." I've heard the hypocritical bullshit, dude.
No, like
is THC an upper?
About that. No, it's a downer.
I don't know if it was you, but look, I see the hypocrisy, dude. If you want to believe it makes you more active, more power to you.
I mean, look at Joe Rogan. Other people, Joe Rogan used to get stoned and go work out. Like I get stoned and work out during the day too. So I mean,
Joe Rogan's pretty fucking rich. I think he's a bit of an outlier to using as example. And anyway, I don't want any anecdotal example.
And all those actors. There's a whole bunch.
I don't give a fuck, like, dude. I have something called common sense, and if you're gonna try to tell me that weed doesn't lower productivity, well, good for you.
No, I think lazy people lower productivity. You're either lazy or
does
not.
Does marijuana lower productivity?
This is anecdotal itself, but I can only give you my personal experience. I tried to be open-minded when I was a manager, and what I did is hold on, I'm going to add Patrick here. Hello, Patrick.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So what I did is I told my guys I give everyone the exact same chance. Several people on the crew wanted to be able to smoke weed, and I'm like, I give you a chance. If you can work up to par with where I need you to be, like you got to understand, we held a crew that where we were already unmanned, like 2 men down compared to what we needed on purpose to save money. So we had to have all hands on deck. So I said, if you can keep up and your cases per hour, which is basically how I calculated how well people were doing, is up to par, then you're good. I don't give a shit. You can do whatever the hell you want if it don't affect your work. You can even drink. But in my personal experience, no one passed that test. No one. Now, it could be, there's all sorts of reasons for that. Maybe they weren't smoking a certain strand. I don't know. But everyone was like, dude, man, I'm killing it. And they were like, they're like,
yeah.
I'm not even joking. It was like,
I'm not like, see, like when I work construction and I got stoned a lot with. I had some guys there like that they work better. Like they became like an animal. Like they get in there and start just with the hand diggers and the digging bar. I mean, you just became an animal. But then some people, they just melt into a freaking couch.
So is it because of
digging bar? What's a digging bar?
Oh, it's just like a straight metal bar with some of them have a flat tip for cutting dirt. Then you have pointy tipped ones for busting rocks. Some of them have.
I wouldn't operate a table saw stoned, even though I have. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah. I hate table saws. Even I know.
Well, I don't hate them. I like table saws actually, but they're dangerous.
I don't like them because when you had to sit there and cut pallet after pallet of fence boards to put on a job site, and it's just like taking off half a freaking inch off of the end of a board just to make them all the same fucking length.
Yeah.
You do that all day for rainy days. Yeah, you don't want that. Had the radio arm saw.
Yeah, well, I don't know if table saw is the best tool for that anyway.
Well, I said radio arm saw. So it's
radio arm saw. I'm sorry.
It's basically a circular saw or a table saw, but on an arm that floats over the top.
Dude, you don't think I know what a fucking radial arm saw is?
Hey, I'm just explaining for the rest of the people. Listen, calm your pants
Oh,
down.
you assume you know more. You assume you know more than others. Okay.
No, I'm just informing people so they have an understanding what the fuck we're talking about. You angry old
I
man.
got you. I got you. I got you.
All right, I want to take a moment here. By the way, we've got about 25 minutes. I'm going to have to leave on time. Patrick, you got anything you want to add here? You haven't said anything yet.
No. I'm just listening to the rhetoric. You know, now what was you? Yeah, I would like to ask you something. You said your crew, you was letting them smoke weed or giving it. What exactly was your leader of? What crew of what?
Okay, a grocery manager is like, I was technically number 3 in the store, but I work at night and I'm basically in charge of the people that stock dry goods.
Oh, okay.
Basically, or you are.
What?
I said, you said basically. Does that mean you are or you are not?
Yes, I am. Sorry. But yes,
Okay.
I'm in charge of pretty much everything in there that's not dairy, bakery.
So you were the manager at night, in other words.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. However, unlike most managers, a grocery manager usually works. They usually, like, there's no one else there and you only have like a small group of people.
Well, and then
You've
one guy doesn't
actually-
show up. You're pretty much doing his job.
Yes, and I made it. we didn't have that problem very much because I'd give people hell. Dude, I came into work with the frickin' swine flu, and I made sure people stayed away from me, and I wore gloves and everything. But like, the job don't change because you're sick. And so unless people were in really bad shape, people showed up.
So you was the manager at night.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you bringing up stock boy at all? You're just a manager. Why would you even say you were the stock guy?
Because I stalked, and I don't identify with manager very much because, like I said, I viewed myself as a leader. I worked harder than my guys, or at least tried to keep up with them, and we competed with each other. And because of that, they had loyalty to me, and they respected me, and they would work.
I used to have a farmer
Go ahead.
I used to pick when I worked at the dairy farm. We also had vegetables we had to pick. Then we had a Mennonite boy, and then another boy, and I'd get them to race how many tomatoes, baskets of tomatoes can we get picked first and stuff like that. Usually I'd try to get going really fast, get them to catch up to me, but I usually try to get it to about even because we got paid by the basket. So, but
Exactly. You got paid by the piece. Piecework. Of course I'm going to rush.
I actually like that. I think things should be set up more that way. If we got paid by the case, like when we were stalking, Jesus Christ, I'd be taking some crap.
that dangling carrot can motivate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let me throw this in and I'll back up. Use the digging stick and stocking shelves. These are kind of your lower tier jobs, just so you know. I don't, if you're smoking weed, using a digging stick or stocking shelves, it's not that severe, is it?
Well, wait a minute, 504. You need to understand he was a supervisor also. So that's a higher tier stalking, whatever the fuck he's.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about that is if you are a supervisor, you should be paid more, but you should do good work. A good fucking manager knows, look, you lead by example, okay?
I agree. It's the difference between a leader and a boss. No one respects bosses.
No, I've had my fair share of shitty bosses. But again, I fall back to, believe me, I've done it more than one time. Packed up a box and walked the fuck out. Believe me, I've done it.
You should, because that's showing that you have standards.
I think you guys are getting shit mixed up. Because someone's telling you what to do, you resent that.
No,
you resent your boss.
Well,
I don't resent the boss for
this.
Good.
If you look at humans, like I even do it too. My kids do it. Other people I worked under me, and other things. If you command people to do it, hey, do this, do that, people aren't going to want to do it. They're going to want to resist. They're going to want to do the opposite. But you say, hey, can you do that? It some reason jumps over that, and then they think about it, and yeah, sure, I can do that. It that's the best way to overcome that is, hey, can you do that? Hey, can I get you to do that? Best way to do it.
And some of that shit. Hey, look. The more money I get paid, the more you can fuck me in the ass. I don't care. You know, you want to order me around, you pay me top dollar, go for it.
Yep.
I can agree with that. And it goes back to, are you getting paid what you deserve to get paid? And for a vast majority of the country, the answer to that is no.
Yeah, well, human nature would say that. I mean, Gadwin thinks we ought to make $60-something an hour. I don't agree with that.
What? I didn't say that.
Dude, you said 120-something thousand a year or whatever. Do the math.
I said that's to live comfortably with no worries. That's your health care covered, your pension.
Right. So 120,000 to live comfortably. So if I'm making, say, 80, 90,000.
The actual estimates are 100. The estimates are to live a decent life here is 100,000 a year, roughly.
You didn't say that. You did not say that.
No, I said to live comfortably, so with no issues. So you add another 20,000, each parent making 60,000 a year. Yeah.
So right, correct. Again, you didn't say for how many people it is. How many? I assumed it's per person because you didn't specify.
No, I said family, didn't I? So if your average family is 2 parents,
dude, what's a fucking family? Define a fucking family, dude. You didn't.
Calm down.
How many people? 2 kids? 3 kids? Dude, I know what I know.
I think the average is 2.5 nowadays.
Okay.
You get a little too worked up. We can talk about this though.
No, I'm going by what you said. I don't really care, you know. I know what you said in the past.
No, because you keep getting Trubs and I mixed up. Because you keep saying about I dropped out in 7th grade, and that's not true. That's Trubs, and you get him and I mixed up all the time.
Look, dude, I don't believe a lot of what comes out your mouth. I know you said before you said you're a 9th grade dropout. Dude, I believe what I want to believe. I'll stand by my assumption.
10th grade. Now, come on now. We got to get the facts right. 10th grade.
Yeah. You were so smart you skipped the 8th grade. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. See, there you are. Now you're getting your recall. Stick to the facts, Andy. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, you skipped 8th grade. I fucking believe or anything good of that.
Okay.
Did anybody hear about those Haitians eating dogs and cats? I can't help but bring that up. It's hilarious.
Dude, should I not believe people or should I not?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, yes, the burden of proof is on me to prove it, but how do you prove this? I mean, it's.
No, now I'm talking about the Haitians. You know, I've seen people online basically saying that. I mean, hey, why shouldn't I believe them?
Well, it's already been debunked. It was a right wing thing. Somebody did it for to get clout on social media, and they got too much attention, basically.
It was a neo-Nazi, actually. A neo-Nazi went up in some sort of town hall meeting and mentioned it, that Haitians were eating a dog, or his neighbors.
So the truth is, one person did that, and he was mentally messed up. But then they lied about it. Then they lied about it.
The town hall meeting where there were several people there at the town hall meeting saying it. Matter of fact, I seen 3 people at the town hall meeting.
If they did, they latched onto the same lie and started believing it.
3 people.
Do I believe that your truth or the opposite truth?
Well, there is no your truth. There's only one truth. It is true that
people have alternative facts now.
Some lady,
right, like the difference between 7th grade and 10th grade.
Hold on a second. Let Patrick talk. What are you saying, Patrick?
Probs, you're telling me some lady that's been there for 45 years saying people are throwing their beds in her front yard and their fucking husband's sick and this and that. She lobbed on to this other guy and just started saying that these fucking Haitians are all in her front yard and this, that, the other
Now,
thing.
hold on. You're changing the goalpost. Specifically, what I mentioned was it was bullshit. It was bullshit that people are out there eating pets. That's not true. It was proven to be bullshit.
Well, no. Well, they are also they. Well, there's also people on internet saying that they're down there eating ducks and shit out of the pond and eating roadkill and shit like that. You can get on your internet to see that.
If that's weird, I mean, my friend had ducks in his yard, and he's like, "Hey, I was dropping my buddies off from the work one day. He told the other buddy, you want one of my ducks?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll take him home." He walks over to that damn thing, just stomped its head in right there, threw it in his bag.
And how does this apply to the story?
He took it home and ate. He cleaned it. He brought us some duck the next day to work.
Right. And what's the relevance of what we're speaking about?
What's the big deal about eating a fucking duck?
Control your amusement with yourself, please.
It's all right. I got a flashback of him stomping a duck's head in.
It did remind him of something, but to be fair, this is unstructured. We don't.
I just don't get the connection. I mean, I could tell some anecdotal stories and laugh, I guess.
I mean, you go to India, eating dogs is normal. So I mean.
Yeah. You know what? In China, in certain parts of China, eating dogs normal.
Well, okay, I'd like to say something to Trobs and everyone.
Eating cows normal. I'm not going to go eat your cows.
You're going to tell me if you're down there eating ducks and roadkill, it's far-fetched. This you see somebody's dog, you're not going to go eat a dog wandering around.
No. I think you don't understand my thing. You're acting
no,
as
you don't understand my thing.
No, you're saying that it happened, and this you think that it's far-fetched. No, it's proven that it didn't happen. It's a lie.
Proven by who?
Proven by who? Proven that it's not a lie.
The guy who said
exactly.
It me
when there's people saying it's happening, you're the one saying it's not happening.
The original guy who made the lie said
it's
not true.
The guy, there's people on YouTube. There are people on YouTube coming out on these little streams saying, yes, it is happening.
Do you believe anything anyone says if you like it? Like if it goes along with your narrative?
Hey, Trobs, do you believe Trump's a racist? How about you, Dad? When you think Trump's a racist?
I don't know, to be honest.
Did you watch him go on that black journalist thing?
I do believe, I will say.
You don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I believe that Trump he will inflame
I believe, okay, let me say something. If Democrats said that there were people eating fucking animals and shit and they were Republicans, you would believe it.
No, I wouldn't.
Of course. Bullshit.
See, contrary to what you believe,
we eat roadkill.
I don't do the echo chamber thing. I actually watch both sides. I watch Fox News. I watch CNN. I watch.
But this ain't even got nothing to do with Republicans and Democrats.
Yes, it does.
This
Donald
is a
Trump,
fucking city overrun by 15,000 shithole.
Donald Trump made a claim during the debate with Kamala Harris that was a lie, claiming that people were eating pets, in the Haitians specifically, which is not true. That's why I brought it up.
And then what he say he said that's what he's seen on the TV or on YouTube, or he said he's seen it.
If you are a nominee for president of the United States, you don't get to like make up shit because you saw something on TV. He
didn't make it up. He said he's seen it on what we're saying we see.
So
he said that's what they were saying on the news. That's what that guy said in the meeting.
Even if that were the case,
you don't get to make up shit. And you're talking about you like Joe Biden. You don't get to make up shit.
Hold on, did I say I like Joe? What? Now you're doing the Trump and making shit up. I never said I like Joe Biden.
Well, you're a Democrat. What did Trump
I'm not a Democrat.
Then Trump said he's telling you what he's seen. But he's seen the guy say it.
So even if I go with what you said and say that he was misunderstanding what he saw, whatever, at the very least it shows Trump's a moron. Like,
how can that be a moron?
That whole debate he showed.
If you listen to somebody said something and you watched it. You're like, oh, you're just repeating what somebody said.
Because the
That's
source
not making
matters.
anything up.
Because the source matters. You don't. If some crazy, like, let's say some hippie person came up to me and was like, you know what? The universe is actually a sentient
That's
being.
far fetched. That's too.
It's pretty far fetched to act like an entire city is full of Haitians that are eating dogs and cats. That's fucking crazy, dude.
And nobody can film it this day and
Yeah,
age.
and there's no evidence, but it's like, oh, I like that because it's against Democrats. Let's use it.
It triggers the I shouldn't say the R word probably in
Triggers.
some people's minds, and then
Well,
they get
not Melody. Not only did he get it from an alt-right website, the person that started it is a literal Nazi. You can look this up.
oh, that Wente's kid, whatever.
I think so, but he's a Nazi, and he's
The one
like,
the one that went to Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West.
not that guy, not that guy.
Okay.
No, it wasn't him that started it. I don't know
Did
his
you
name.
see the whole Russia, the FBI thing about the whole all the right-wing influencers being paid by Russia, like Tim Pool, Mark
Yes,
Rubin,
yes.
all them? They're
I
all
forgot
being
all
paid by
about that.
Russia.
I forgot all about that.
Tim Pool's being paid $100K, one video for every week, $400K a month.
And the funny thing is how his shit changed. Before he was
Mhm.
like making Russian like digs like everybody else. Then he gets that money and he's like, how would you feel if you were Russia and NATO was encroaching? It's so funny.
And then Ukraine is the enemy of the United States. He's all
Yeah.
yelling in there.
It's hilarious.
Hey,
All because he
Gadwin.
got paid.
Gadwin, you believe everything on that internet today shit you watch? You believe everything they say?
Nope, I just listen and then make my own judgment. Sometimes I look up shit. And if you're in Trump's
I've
Discord,
heard you.
because
I've heard you repeating them.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
have you been listening to it now?
I'm subscribed. It pops up sometimes.
You
I'm like
like it, don't
Trump.
you? You like it?
No,
Don't you?
I'm like Trump. You'd have to say Trump's like Fox News with using that logic.
I think internet today is pretty middle based. They're not super left or right, but they do make fun of right wingers because right wingers do some pretty stupid shit.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
if left wingers do some stupid, they're definitely going to make fun of them too because they hold no punches. That's my generation.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's like we don't care who does the stupid. We're going to point fingers and laugh at you. Don't
yeah,
be stupid. That's it. Just quit being fucking conspiracy fucking nuts, thinking Bigfoot's in the fucking woods everywhere and aliens are.
is there a specific video that you can tell me about on that website?
Which one?
Internet Today.
What about it? I listened to one of their videos earlier today.
That they pick on the left.
Oh, I'm sure if you listen, I'm not going to sit here and listen through everything and remember every little thing.
Well, you just kind of put yourself out on a limb.
Just because I listen to things, I'm not going to remember every one of their talk shows. I'm going to remember the things they talk about, but I'm not going to remember which show had what or,
I got you.
Yeah, if a topic is big enough and, I'll catch on to that, and then I'll go do further research. On Rob's Discord, a lot of times I'll put, like, further posts up, backing up things, claims in videos or something, disclaimers.
Did Kamala Harris tell any lies during the debate?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I've been looking for it. Which ones? I actually wanted
America
to find out.
is not in any active conflicts anywhere in the world. We are in a few active conflicts around the world.
Fair.
Well, hey, I'm curious.
Is that as terrible as talking about eating ducks?
I mean, she.
Or worse?
She said it real quick.
Which one's worse? Which one would you say is worse?
We are actually in the midst of pulling out of Iraq right now. We're in the withdrawals of Iraq. We already did Afghanistan. We are withdrawing from Iraq. And then we will be out of our conflicts.
Like when they pulled out of Afghanistan?
Hey, you should go read that stupid deal that Trump made. Trump literally handed Afghanistan to the Taliban. Go read the deal.
That was
That's all you got. Grumble, 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 grumble. Go read the fucking deal that Trump gave the Taliban. He gave them 5,000 of their fighters back. Gave them fucking everything.
Afghanistan.
Trump made the deal. Trump invited the Taliban to Camp David. I've talked about that before. Kamala even ever said about it. He actually invited them to the White House, and he got them to go to Camp David instead because they were like, no, they ain't bringing these sons of bitches to the White House.
Hey, so what is this plan? What's this big plan? You know, I got a plan, but what exactly is this plan? What is it? I got a
What?
plan. I got a plan. I got a plan.
That's
what
Trump.
the fuck is it?
That's
Trump's
Trump.
one had no
He
plan.
never tells anyone
Get
anything.
the fuck out of here.
Harris, at least,
Trump
when she was
talking about a plan.
no,
Hey,
he
I
kept on
know
making up.
part of the plan. Closed border. That's a part of the
No,
plan.
if you actually
Yeah,
go to
but-
each candidate's sites,
But when it
Kamala
comes to
Harris's
closing
site
the
has
borders, and when it comes to
How
closing
is
the
that-
borders,
How
Hold-
is
hold-
Camilla gonna pay for? I'm gonna give starter families all she was saying is
$30,000 for new businesses.
briberies. I'm gonna give all. You like that, didn't you? You gonna have another kid, $6,000? I can buy me another trailer if you know.
but
all
but
that
the point
fucking
but the
bullshit. How's
point
she gonna
is
pay?
the point is she's actually answering the questions. When Trump's asked a question, he's like, "I've got an idea for that, and we'll have it out very soon." He never answers anything.
Oh, and then it's always Biden is the worst. He always does the worst. Biden is everything wrong. That's the reason everything's horrible. You know, only I can fix it. I am the best. You know, kiss my ass.
And by the way, I've said this
Hey,
many times.
do you
but-
think
but
Biden's always right? Is Biden always correct in his
I wouldn't
assessment of
know.
what's
No,
going on?
Biden
no.
is. He's a man. He's human, and he doesn't try to be anything more than human. Did you watch him at the PA thing at the Trump thing, the rally he was at?
Dude, let's make fun of Kamala for about 5 minutes.
did
Come
you
on,
watch-
y'all already
You
said
have to
she's a liar. Let's make
Calm
fun of
No.
Kamala a little bit. I'll
Oh,
start it
no,
off. She's an ugly fucking bitch. Now you're next.
Wow.
As ugly as
So
Trump,
aggressive.
Wow, Orange Man
Hey.
bad, Kamala ugly, Kamala suck bad.
Does it have
no,
to
no,
do with
Trump is ugly.
like
Come
the
on,
color
give me a
of her
break.
skin?
What was the question, Gab?
Oh, sorry. Does it have anything to do with the color of her skin? Y'all really make it worse. Annie. Now I'm just want to laugh at you.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Retard.
Is
Oh,
she
Andy.
Indian or is she black? Is she Indian or is she black?
She's
Both.
there's this thing called being biracial, and you can actually have multiple ethnicities. She's both.
I like
Like,
Blasians. Blasians
What?
are hot.
It's
She don't
funny
have
that
any
it's
black in her.
hilarious
She
that
don't
Trump
have any
said
black
that.
in her.
Yes, she
She
does.
don't have any black
She's
in
black
her.
and Indian. Her mom's what, Indian, and is her father black? Was it?
I'm not 100%.
Dude, her father is not black. Her father has I have more black in me than her dad does. I fucking promise you.
Like Obama, his mother was Pacific Islander, and his dad was black.
Obama's mother was white, you idiot.
No, she was Pacific Islander. She's light skinned, but she
No,
wasn't
she
like dark.
wasn't. She was white.
She was
Better
from the
fucking
Pacific
go-
Islands.
Go-
She's from
go back
Hawaii.
to fucking-
Dude, I recently saw a picture of her where she had this nappy hairdo.
So from what
Hey,
I found
am
so
I allowed
far,
to say? Am I allowed to say nappy hairdo? Is that okay?
you can say whatever you want as long as it don't violate the TOS.
I bet Gavin got a nappy hairdo.
So, contrary to Trump's statements, however, Harris has long publicly identified as both Black and South Asian American. It's not new. She didn't just pull it out for votes. She's always said
Where
that.
are you reading that from? Where are you reading that from?
Dude, she
Dude.
fucking identified as Indian. I don't buy that bullshit. Dude, I guess you could say it's a conspiracy, but there's pictures of her and, her saying stuff. I haven't watched a lot, but she definitely identified as an Indian before. Dude, don't hand me that.
But this is the thing.
We're all
They're not
humans,
they're
though.
not mutually exclusive. This is the point I'm making. If I say that I'm Irish, I'm not lying. If I say that I'm American, I'm not lying. If I say that I have Indian in me, I'm not lying. You can
Right.
be
If I
multiple.
say I have black in me, I'm not lying.
That's true.
No, you probably took it out.
Exactly. Exactly. So, hey, I'm whatever. I'm a black man, dude.
If you
Identity
say-
politics.
If you say I want to ask you something, Trump. If you say you're the night manager, are you lying?
I'm not anymore. I used to be. I didn't say that
No.
that I am now.
Now
If-
he's the terror
if
that
you
flies in the night.
You used to be the night manager. Are you
Darkwing
lying?
drops.
So hold on.
Ginger that bites.
Ask again.
You had
what?
the keys to the store. You had the keys.
Yes. Yes. Why would I
You had the
lie?
keys.
Like,
don't
I'm
know.
not. I don't feel like I'm proud of that. I was basically a glorified stalker. It's not
Oh,
anything
I
special.
remember you say, "Oh, I got to stock shells and shit."
Don't take that out of context. Glorified stalker.
Guys, I've
What
got
do
to
you
go.
mean? I didn't get the innuendo. Was there some innuendo that went over my head there?
Stalker. It's
He
Oh,
was a
okay.
glorified stalker.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But in any case, guys,
I'm a little slow. I'm
it's
slow.
all good.
I'm
But
from Pennsylvania, and I'm still trying to figure out what do you call it, a dig stick? What that thing?
Instead of
What's that
digging
thing?
iron.
Right, and
Digging
that's why I asked him. Yeah, digging stick operator. Fuck, I don't give a. I'd smoke weed if I had to do that all the time,
Yeah, but my hands are
dig
harder than
stick.
yours.
A dig stick.
dude. Whatever,
Digging
whatever that
iron.
person, whatever that means.
Iron
Dude, I know what a
bar.
digging stick is. It's used by unskilled labor. I know
Oh,
what it is.
unskilled. Yeah, I want to see you get rocks out of a hole that's only 9
I think
inches
he's
round.
talking about like a stick crowbar.
Oh my God, let me get a rock out the ground. I'm a rock getter out of the ground.
Yeah,
person.
it's so easy.
Guess what, Gadwin?
Gadwin.
Gadwin, would you believe when I was like in my late teens, I've done that? Would you believe that? But I didn't do it for the rest of my fucking life.
No, I had a family that did it, so that was going to be my career, and I made $44 a fucking hour doing state work.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, how many years did you make 44 an hour for? How many years?
It
How
depends on-
consistently did you make 44 an hour?
There's times that was 3 months straight, and then there's times that didn't get that work for a couple months. It was prevailing wage work. You understand
Okay,
prevailing wage work?
right. I know what the fuck prevailing wage is. Now let me ask you this: what is the prevailing wage for your average Joe Blow rock person?
45, 50 something an hour.
So the average landscape guy that lives around you makes $35 an hour. Now I'm not talking working at the FBI or military base. So the average guy like putting in like starter plants in the ground or cutting the grass is making 35 an hour.
If you're doing it at a prevailing wage job. So prevailing wage job has
No. I'm not talking
listen.
about I know what a prevailing wage job. I'm talking about going and doing residential. How much is a guy making?
Talk too loud. Hold the phone closer away from your mouth. You're too loud.
Look, answer the fucking question. You know what the intent of my question is. Answer it.
So what'd you say
Yeah,
now?
we know the intent, and it's irrelevant.
Don't worry about it. Dude, it's relevant because it proves he's fucking misleading, deceiving, just like you are. Fucking jack boy.
Yelling in my ear.
Paid $100 an hour.
Just be quiet. You sounded so good when you weren't talking. I love how you sound when you're not talking. Shut the fuck up.
You do always do most of the talking, then you complain when other people talk. The thing
Blah,
is,
blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you see, you got nothing to say, so it comes blah blah blah.
Dude, you're a short goofball Malaysian. I couldn't give a fuck about you. That's why I don't even waste my time trolling you.
There you go. I'm Swiss as well. How come I'm just Malaysian?
Yeah, whatever. Dude, you're black. Hey, Rash, you're black too.
This guy. Why
don't
not?
forget you're black.
Hey,
identify as black.
I identify as black. Do I? Have I ever identified?
All right, Rob. This is going nowhere.
It was starting to get pretty funny, so I'm going to let it last a little bit longer.
You're the ugliest Swiss motherfucker I ever saw.
And he's gonna give himself a hemorrhoid.
Well, that's too bad. I've been the model. Have you been the model ever? Right. So,
dude, you're breaking up. I don't know. I can't understand you.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm like
Right.
5 minutes
again.
past.
I speak
All right, Trubs.
I've got to go, guys. Have fun. It was great.
Later.
See you next week.
Next week.
Later.
Later,
Bye,
folks.